I'd like to read a couple paragraphs out of my book, Love Outpouring, which will be out in a few months. And this is from chapter 10, which is entitled Sharing Yourself with the World. And this section is titled Perplexing-Wonder. Ego shaves the vibrancy edges off of life, dulling life's inherent wonder and splendor, dampening the beauty of humanity and the world. Self reinstates life's vibrant glory as self-consciousness re-recognizes its love for its own creation, and in doing so falls deeper and deeper back in love with itself, ever more enhancing the vibrancy of the mystery of life. Self-realization eliminates the once muted, self-infused fragmentations of the manifestation, leaving only a spirited shining, re-illuminating the wholeness that has always been, re-establishing a wondrous sparkle to life that has not been witnessed since childhood. So why is wonder experienced as self is realized? Because you will inherently and therefore non-conceptually know that you, ego, did not do the vibrant glory. That was done by something other than the ego, something prior to the ego, something way more spectacular than an ego could ever envision. The wonder experienced from self-realization also contains with it a perplexing quality, a quality that may at first seem to be disparaging at face value, yet is somehow completely non-confusing and absolutely sane and comforting. This perplexing wonder, also known as ever-present happiness, leads to a timeless, consistent pondering of the mystery without in any way interrupting or hindering daily life. It's as if, via self-inquiry, you change out the infinite loop of your agitated, egoic mind for the ever-present, perplexing wonder of the clarity of your heart. The strangest part is that this perplexing wonder is unavoidable and unintentional, since it is clear that there is no doer, no ego that did anything to make a life of perplexing wonder happen. The perplexing wonder is somehow mysteriously done prior to and in the absence of the ego via the self. This gets really bewildering and possibly upsetting for an ego, because the ego realizes that regardless of how hard it tries, it will never be able to conceptualize this, nor will it be the one that obtains and claims this perplexing wonder understanding. And furthering the bewilderment, the ego knows honestly and innately that perplexing wonder, the mystery of self, is and always has been the truth of reality. Where the paradox comes into play for the ego is in how the mechanics of creation can be the way they are, It makes absolutely no sense to an ego that the most beautiful understandings and experiences arise only in the absence of itself. The ego says to itself, why is it and how is it even possible that when I surrender everything that I have taken myself to be and become no-thingness, I simultaneously attain and become everythingness? Damn, it says. It's because the ego refuses to see the simplicity of the situation. The reason the ego can't get there from here is because it resists seeing that what remains after its elimination is already here, which is yourself. Where your ego really has the ability to get fired up is when it hears that your greatest offering to the world is knowing yourself, which has absolutely nothing to do with itself. The ego will do everything in its power for you not to hear this very simple message. But this is the absolute case, that in the practice of self-inquiry, there is an inner energy that is awakened and mysteriously changes the manifestation in inconceivable ways. By knowing yourself, everything just seems to fall into place without any effort on your part, thereby unintentionally, positively influencing those around you. Therefore, making the knowing of yourself your number one priority is the utmost goal to experience a life of peaceful impact. This reminds me of a quote from Meister Eckhart that goes something like this: self is an ego that's lost interest in its own self-interest. So by knowing yourself, you lose interest in wanting to know anything other than yourself, because anything other than yourself is ego. And so by turning your attention inward, you lose the egoic drive to try to find happiness and wholeness out in the world. It's realized that happiness and wholeness is nothing other than the definition of knowing yourself. Take care.